Echoes swarm tight in a mirrored spin. Low end pressure dragging from within. Leads carve patterns in a looping glide, pulling all the motion to the deeper side. Hi-hat ticks slide like a splitting chain. Rhythms cut sharp through the metal strain. RZA pulls taut in a rising hold, holding every breath in a grip ice cold. Pulse divergence tearing at the core, breaking through the static with a violent roar. Racing on the line where the shadows pour, lost inside the drift, wanting something more. Kick snaps hard like a loaded strike. Drums fold quick in a shifting spike. Vocal grains scatter in a filtered sweep, tracing broken echoes where the signals leap. Breakdown dims, soft like a fading glow. Silence wraps tight as the patterns slow. Then the launch erupts with a sudden blast, dragging every moment back lightning fast. Pulse divergence tearing at the core, breaking through the static with a violent roar. Racing on the line where the shadows pour, lost inside the drift, wanting something more. Slow in a thinning stream, drifting like ghosts from a shattered dream. But the pulse remains in a quiet trace, ready to break free in another chase.
Static sparks drift in a crimson tone. Low end pressure shakes the circuit bone. Sin waves ripple in a woven slide, pulling every fragment to the inner tide. Patterns loop tight in a mirrored spin. Hi-hat slice, then where the beats begin. Risers curl slow in a rising flare, tension drawing closer in the loaded air. Thrust returns in a climbing sweep, pulling every second from the circuits deep, 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 deep. Pulse over fire blazing through the night, twisting fates align.
Pressure snaps deep where the pulses crack. Baseline growls low, pulling shadows back. Lead drones tunnel in a frozen sweep, dragging every heartbeat from the deep. Hi-hats flicker like a frantic sign. Rhythms punch holes through the tide and line. Rise or climb slow in a burning rise, filling every second with electrified skies. Core collapse, tearing down the grid, shaking every wall till the edges skid. Riding on the blast like a force unhid, lost inside the push where the sound outbid. Kick hits roaring in a molten blast. Patterns break fast like a system cast. Vocal cracks echo in a flaring streak, ripping through the void where the signals peak. Breakdown drifts thin like a hollow wave. Silence holding tight as the beat behaves. Then the strike erupts with the blinding flare, pulling every fragment back through the air. Core collapse, tearing down the grid, shaking every wall till the edges skid. Riding on the blast like a force unhid, lost inside the push where the sound outbid. Glow falls faint in a dwindling tone, resting in the dust of the broken zone. Yet the core still hums in a hidden trace, waiting for the crash of the next embrace. Oh. Voltage snaps sharp in the rising beat. Bass kicks heavy in a looping heat. Lit notes streaking a metallic glide, pulling all the tension to the system side.
Hi-hats scatter like a silver rain. Rhythms twist tight in a moving chain. Rhythms breathe slow in a stretched incline, ramping up the pressure in a narrow line.
Voltage stride tearing through the night, flashing every frame in a driven light. Riding on the spark of a coded flight, locked inside the surge where the waves ignite. instant in a softened drift. Silence shifts slow like a fading lift. Then the build strikes hard in a rising blaze, pulling every cycle back into the phase. Voltage stride tearing through the night, flashing every frame in a driven light. Riding on the spark of a coded flight, locked inside the surge where the waves ignite.
Like a thinning veil, yet the charge remains in a dormant glow, waiting for the next strike to overflow.
Twisting every moment out of time. Hi-hat snap quick like a coated flare. Pattern slice clean through the weighted air. Rise up pulling slow in a tense incline, holding every echo on a faulted line. Signal fracture cut in through the frame, splitting all the noise like a wild flame. Riding on the break of a warp domain, lost inside the drift where the waves unchain. Kick drum bursts in a jagged slam, rhythm shatter sharp like a metal can. Vocal shards shimmer in a drifting haze, falling into patterns where the circuits blaze. Breakdown sing slow like a drain machine, silence trembling thin in a ghost-like sheen. Then the burst ignites with a sharp recoil, dragging every signal back from the boil. Signal fracture cutting through the frame, splitting all the noise like a wild flame. Riding on the break of a warp domain, lost inside the drift where the waves unchain. Frequencies fade in a trailing spark, falling like dust through the hollow dark. But the signal hides in a silent seam, waiting for the surge to reawaken. Bling, 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 bling. Oh.
Voltage hums deep in a midnight glide, bass crawls heavy from the system side. Lead lines shimmer in a loop entwine, pulling all the echoes into one design. Hi-hats flick like an electric rain, rhythms punch sharp in a coated chain. Rise a shift slow in a rising thread, tension creeping close as the moment spread.
Night circuit burning through the the charge where the waveform in a rapid burst. Patterns crash loud in a tangled thirst. Vocal fragments cut in a filtered glide, drifting through the noise where the shadows hide. Breakdown melts soft like a dying spark. Silence holds thin in the breathing dark. Then the lift revives in a sudden climb, pulling every motion back into the time. Night circuit burning through the haze, flaring up the dark in a neon blaze, riding on the pulse of the shifting maze, lost inside the charge where the waveform plays. Night circuit burning through the haze, flaring up the dark in a neon blaze, riding on the pulse of the shifting maze, lost inside the charge where the waveform plays. Fade out in a whisper line, trailing through the void in a slanted shine. But the night still hums in a silent spin, waiting for the current to rise again. Currents twist deep in the rising hum, bass lines rumble like a distant drum. Lead synth spirals in a rapid chain, pulling every thought into its domain. Hi-hats flicker like electric code, patterns shifting in a heavy load. The riser stretches tight like a sealed command, moments freeze in place as the pulses expand. Vector surge override, breaking the frame, cutting through distortion like a burning flame, riding on the current of a fierce waveform, lost inside the drive where the circuits form. Kick bursts forward in a molten spark, rhythms ricochet through the glowing dark. Vocal shards echo in a fractured sweep, slicing through the static where the signals lead. Breakdown softens like a fading glow, silence curls around as the patterns slow. Then the lift ignites in a sudden blast, pulling every fragment back in a clash. Vector surge override, breaking the frame, cutting through distortion like a burning flame, riding on the current of a fierce waveform, lost inside the drive where the circuits form. Echoes drift out in dissolving light, falling like embers through the quiet night. But the buried pulse keeps a hidden tone, waiting for the moment to rise alone. Static coils deep in the fractured air. Bass lines rumble with a coated snare. Lead tones spiral in a tightened spin, pulling every signal to the core within. Hi-hat snap like a sharpened thread. Patterns cross paths where the circuits spread. Rise and climb slow in a crawling sweep, dragging every moment from the system's deep. Pulse divergence cutting through the haze, shifting all the waves in electric phase. Riding on the force where the voltage plays, lost inside the noise of the drifting maze. Oh. Silence holds tight in a suspended frame. Then the lift bursts back in a sudden strike, pulling every fragment into perfect sync. Pulse divergence cutting through the haze, shifting all the waves in electric phase. Riding on the force where the voltage plays, lost inside the noise of the drifting maze. Oh. Bend in a flickered glow, fading slow into the undertow. But the pulse remains in a hidden line, waiting for the next loop to realize.